Hello everybody, Dante's Game Room back with another quick video. This time it's a video about the inks I use. A couple weeks ago at one of the shows, somebody asked me what types of, how do I ink and what do I use. And to be honest with you, I do traditional and digital. I have a XP Pen 22R, 24R, and then but if I start off traditional, I end traditional. That means if I start off with like pencil and paper, I end with, brush and paper, or nib and paper. If I start off digital, I end digital. But these are the supplies I use when I'm inking comic books. I actually use this. It's Speedball Super Black. I have several other blacks that I use for different purposes and like washes and stuff like that. Like I use Sumi ink, Higgins Black Magic, and then of course I have like regular Bombay Indian ink. I also have the Doc Martens Black Star matte. I'll use this too for some comic books depending on what style of comics I'm making, but Super Black is my go-to. I use these little things to store ink when I'm using it or on the go. For white, this is what I use for white. Doc Martens Bleed Proof White. I also have this, but it's not as thick and rich, or it's kind of translucent. I also I had to pick this up one day because I was doing a comic book store had paid me to come in and do like an autograph session and like sketches on like a blank comic book covers, and I ran out of my ink, and when I was opening the other ink, I actually dropped it and spilt it because I was dealing with an injury from wrestling at the time. And so I actually had to go to Walmart and pick this up, and it worked. It was good in a pinch. There's also, I'm going to be making videos on this acrylic pink ink I've picked up. I've never used acrylic ink before, don't know what it's like. So I'm going to make a little drawing video about that. And I also picked up this Winsor Newton ink recently. Winsor Newton's my favorite watercolor paint. It's what I go to for watercolor paint, the professional Winsor Newton paint. And that's what I prefer with like some Arches paper. But this is their ink, so I wanted to try that out. So I got the Henry collection, which is like, like 8 different types of ink. But for the most part, I just use traditional Indian ink. Got all the colors, that I use, a lot of times I have to pick up certain colors for certain scenes and stuff like that. Or like I'll do like occasionally like I'll have to pick up like a variety of like how to explain it, like it's like I don't really know how to explain it, but like I'll pick that's what happens when you get hit in the head with steel chairs for 30 years. You lose your train of thought. But I'll pick up like Indian ink or dye waterproof like markers, and I'll use them too sometimes. Like when I'm inking, I'll use microns too, but when I'm going old school, this is what I use, and prefer to use this with nibs. And these are the nibs I use. I usually use a G pin for my holder, my nib holder, but I have, all the different types of nibs that I use. And I just keep them together in this little pack. I got my toothbrush for splatter effect. This is the G pin I use. I also have like some glass things and like more like gimmicky stuff that I use sometimes, depending on the lines that I'm making. Because it can be useful, because they hold a lot more ink and you don't have to stop so much. So I will use glass pens, and I do recommend certain ones. Like I said, just because you can go so far with them. But this is the ink I use. I hope it was helpful. Like I said, I will have videos coming up, live drawing videos with me practicing or using the acrylic ink, because like I said, I don't know what's in store for me. And of course, I'll do like a test swatch with the Winsor & Newton to show you how rich and vibrant the colors are, maybe compared against the Bombay Indian ink. But until next time, Dante's Game Room out. Bye bye.